Calling to order the Monday, October 16th, 2023 meeting of the 39th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Mitchell, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Dooley.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gavin.
Here.
Councilmember Hennon.
Here.
Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Councilmember Vellani.
Here.
Mayor Dean.
Here. Our first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Ooh, motion made by Mayor Pro
Yours.
Tem Gavin and with support from Councilmember Vellani. Are there any changes or corrections? Seeing none, Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll.
Dooley.
Yes.
Gavin.
Yes.
Hennon.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Vellani.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Dean.
Yes, the agenda has been approved. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We've now come to the portion of the evening where you may present your thoughts on issues that are not on tonight's agenda. Council members will not engage you in discussion. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and city of residence. You have 3 minutes to tell us what's on your mind and in your heart. If your matter requires further attention, there's a sheet on the table right outside the door. You can leave your name and contact information, and a member of city staff or department will follow up with you. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it's being presented.
Joshua Hunter, Berkley. Mayor Dean, I'd just like to read a letter prepared by myself, Greg Ross, and Mike Wysick regarding the general fund situation. Dear Mayor and City Council members, as you know, it was revealed at the last City Council meeting by the City Manager that the City of Berkeley has a general fund balance of just 12% and it's now been updated to 14%. The number has changed, but in any case, the City is in violation of the 20% minimum fund balance policy, which indicates a financial emergency and triggers the need for a corrective action plan. It's alarming to hear a rumor so quickly that one part of the plan under consideration is to lower the minimum fund requirement. It's our hope that you will tell us this option is not under active consideration as this is not a solution. The city, of course, is not breaking any laws or in receivership, but how well would the city be able to withstand another 2007 financial crisis event if it were to happen next week? Residents are looking for a sense of urgency. Considering these few numbers, $700,000 is the projected deficit for fiscal year 24-25. This has been recently affirmed by both the city manager and Plant Moran in their presentations to the Mayor's Academy. There's a structural deficit in the annual operating budget, also reaffirmed by Plant Moran. $26 million is the estimated amount of the underfunded liability costs for pensions and for retiree health care costs. $60 million is the projected capital expenditures for new equipment and capital improvements by the end of this decade. And $2.5 million is the estimated amount of additional income that was expected in the first year had the millage proposal in May 2023 been approved by the voters. That's just $2.5 million maximum over 5 years, and it is our understanding that this would have maxed out the available tax authority allowed by the city charter. So $86 million and a structural recurring annual operating deficit. And this doesn't include the inadequate funding of some special restricted tax funds, particularly for local roads, which continue to deteriorate faster than they can be repaired or rebuilt, plus other infrastructure costs necessary for a 100-year-old city. Repeat for the record what we've been saying in writing, that the city cannot simply tax its way out of the financial circumstances it now finds itself in. There's simply not enough taxing authority. Just as the City Council recently learned new information concerning the status of the general fund balance, we also have reviewed previous communications, and it's somewhat understandable why City Council might have been under the impression that the general fund balance was healthier than was actually the case. We hope that any corrective action plan not only works to restore the general fund balance to the required minimum of 20%, but also includes an investigation to how this situation developed over time and recommend corrective measures to ensure this doesn't happen in the future. Given our financial backgrounds and experience, we stand ready to engage in serious dialogue concerning the difficult but necessary steps required for a successful corrective action plan, and anxiously await the opportunity to review the plan with other members of the Mayor's Academy. Sincerely, Josh Hunter, Mike Wysick, and Greg Ross. So I'll be submitting this letter for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Well done in under your 3-minute allotment.
Time to spare.
I'm not sure, do you guys need a copy of what I sent you earlier, or, we're good? Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Hi, my name is Carla Osborne, Berkley resident. I did send a packet in to you earlier. That's what I'm just gonna be discussing about tonight, just a few points. So the packet that I sent you earlier is in regards to a customer that had purchased a dog from Puppygram on Woodward, who the dog was sick within 24 hours. She reached out to myself and a couple of the people who have been focusing on this business to provide us with the documentation and what she has gone through. And I wanted to provide that to you because I know that we are really hoping for an ordinance for transparency with this business. And I think it's very important that we see what is being done when somebody purchases an animal from this facility and how, if their dog is sick, what is happening. Yes, this is all legal. The business is legal. The NDA that he gave to her in order to cover her vet bills is legal. Not saying that it's not, but it's wrong. It's not ethical. This isn't what we want in our city. And we want to make sure that if this business is here, that it is here on good standings. This dog was purchased on September 13th. She was informed that she had 72 hours to take the dog to the Nine-Tail vet, who is in partnership with the business. Nine-Tail vet said, there's no way we can get you in 72 hours. 24 hours go by. Next morning she wakes up, dog is runny nose, coughing. This is a 4-pound Yorkie. She gets right in to see her vet. The dog is diagnosed with an upper respiratory infection. After 3 visits now, 3 courses of antibiotics, the dog is still sick. The diagnosis is still kennel cough with aspiration pneumonia. This is not something that just happened over 24 hours after she purchased the dog. When she did reach out to the company, of course, at that time, they said, we sold you a healthy dog, there's nothing we can do. After a few phone calls, turned around and said, okay, we'll pay your vet bills, signing an NDA. And included in that NDA was writing a letter to Berkley City Council to let you know that this matter had been resolved. So again, I know that this is a legal business. The NDAs are legal. The practices that they're doing are legal. But we need to have transparency with this business. We need them to give them the opportunity to give us where their dogs are coming from. Have some sort of a registry to show that the dogs are healthy, to what he's putting out into our public, that it is a healthy animal. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Carla.
Hi, Courtney Wong, Berkley. Mid-February, we all kind of got wind of what was going on, and we all worked for months. In mid-August, we said, I didn't say, but it was said that maybe we should pump the brakes. In that same meeting, it was said that this isn't urgent. I disagree. I'm kind of to the point where I think transparency is falling on us, because I don't think we're going to do anything about it. How many months in are we and nothing has been done to address the existing business? Nothing. I sure hope you'll do something.
Thank you, Courtney. Ms. Mitchell, have you received any correspondence for public comments this evening?
No, Madam Mayor, I have not.
Okay. All right, Ms. Mitchell, will you please read the items on tonight's consent agenda?
1, approval of the minutes, matter of approving the minutes of the 39th regular city council meeting on Monday, October 2nd, 2023. 2, warrant, matter of approving warrant number 1391. 3, motion number M7223, matter of approving the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Berkeley and the City of Huntington Woods for shared resources and services. 4, motion number M7323, matter of approving the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Berkeley and the Berkeley School District for shared resources and services. 5, motion number M7423, matter of approving the 2023-2024 winter maintenance agreement between the Road Commission for Oakland County and the City of Berkeley. The city will be reimbursed a total of $12,087.31, which will be paid in 2 installments, $6,043.66, due in December 2023, and $6,043.66, due in March 2024. 6, proclamation number P3323, matter proclaiming November 2023 as Native American Heritage Month. And 7, proclamation P3423, matter proclaiming November 2023 as Men's Health Awareness Month.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson
Support.
with support from Councilmember Hennan. Are there any corrections or additions? Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll?
Gavin,
Yes.
Hennan,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. The consent agenda has passed. Ms. Mitchell, will you please read item number 1 on tonight's regular agenda?
Recognitions, presentations, matter of any recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
Seeing none, will you please read item number 2?
Presentation, matter of receiving a presentation on the 2022-2023 Community Development Department Annual Report.
Ms. Kapelansky, we can't wait to hear.
I'm sure you read every page.
I did.
Good, thank you. Good evening to council, good evening, Madam Mayor. I just want to hit a few of the highlights of the annual report that I presented to you in the packet this week. This is a requirement of the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. Technically, we're only required to report the Planning Commission's activities, but in years past, this has been expanded to include the entire Community Development Department, and we've continued on with that tradition. So besides the regular board and commission activities, there are a few things that I just wanted to highlight because I am proud of the accomplishments that our department has done this year. We have passed 10 code amendments, 6 of those from the city code, 4 zoning ordinance amendments. 2 of those were the implementation of the downtown design guidelines. This was a document that the DDA had put significant amount of time and effort into, and we were able to get that in the zoning ordinance this year so that the Planning Commission can use those going forward. And we also tweaked and I think finally came up with a residential grading ordinance that has worked. We have not received any complaints, I'm happy to report. So that has been put to bed, at least for now. The zoning ordinance rewrite is well underway. We have a steering committee made up of various members of the board and commission as well as public, and we've met 6 times so far. Carla Osborne Associates is helping us go through that process, and I would encourage all of you and anyone at home who would like to review those packets to please go to Rebuilding Berkeley Zoning Ordinance on the Community Development Department page, and you can see all of the information that the steering committee gets. There will be several community engagement sessions in January. We're doing a month of zoning, so every single week will be a different topic for community engagement on that, and then that's expected to be completed in the summer or fall of 2024. You'll notice that permits and inspections are on par with previous years or a little bit up, so we've been maintaining our status quo there. We also were able, in conjunction with the DDA, to complete the parking study, which included a number of implementation recommendations that we're working with now as a staff committee in moving those forward. We did a complete overhaul of the planning and building fee updates that included looking at each and every fee, and we've made several adjustments. So we do feel like we're doing a good job of covering our costs there. Lastly, we have finalized some staff transitions in the past year. We did add a zoning administrator position, and we now have our licensing clerk, building permit clerk, and zoning administrator, and they're all doing the jobs that they should do and have all trained each other adequately. And then I will just highlight a few of the things that we have upcoming for our next fiscal year. The building official, we are looking to hire a building official, so that's out there now, and we can't wait to transition that person into that role. As I mentioned, the parking study implementation is also happening, so we're excited to move those forward as well. The sign ordinance is being rewritten in conjunction with the zoning ordinance. That's also a much-needed item, so we're excited to get that done. And then lastly, we do hope to move to the implementation of the BSNA online permitting system so that residents and contractors can do all of those things online and don't have to come in person to the city or contact us via email. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have on this, and that's all.
Thank you. I know that online permitting is a really critical piece in moving the department forward, and it'll just streamline things immensely. Gotta love that BSNA. Any public comment on this agenda item? Okay, discussion from council. Councilmember Hannan.
Yeah, the one question I had is, do we have a rough timetable on when BSNA online components will be available?
Sure. So we are meeting with BSNA next month to make sure that our internal system is set up right now to easily transition over to the external facing system. So we're hoping to get that done here at the end of November, and then they can put us in the queue for it would take about 3 to 5 days of setup for them to be here and transition us over to the external system. So I'm hoping that we can get in the queue and get that done in like a spring time frame. We'll see. Sometimes the line gets kind of long, but we are doing that first step in November.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to thank you and your department for this report and all the amazing work that you guys do. I think a lot of people don't see what you guys do every day, day in and day out, and it's a thankless job, but much needed. So
Thank you.
please pass it along.
I will.
Any other comments or questions from council? Okay. Oh, Councilmember
Yeah,
Baker.
just thank you, Your Honor. And I'd like to echo my colleagues' appreciation. You and your team and the committees do excellent work on behalf of the residents and businesses here in the city. And in addition to the quality work that you do, the report itself is of high quality. So it was well organized, easy to read, and it makes it easy for us to just be awash and aglow in all of the cool things that are happening. So so thanks to you and the crew, and here's to another great year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Mitchell, will you please read item number 3 on tonight's agenda?
Motion number M7523, matter of approving the proposal from Hubble, Roth, and Clark in the amount not to exceed $28,000 for GIS support and technical assistance.
Is there a motion to approve M7523?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Hannan
Support.
with support from Councilmember Baker. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As I'm sure the Public Works Director will tell you shortly, GIS is a system that we've been using for quite a while to great effect, as outlined by the Director's memo. We've been using HRC in order to really kind of facilitate the updates for this process. We do own that data, although we are working in partnership with our engineers. Since this is largely a tool for tracking infrastructure, the funding for this is going to come out of both our water account as well as our infrastructure account that is alive today because of the voters' approval back in 2018. So this is a non-general fund expenditure coming before you this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Young.
Good evening. City manager mentioned infrastructure. We're tracking much more than just our simple infrastructure, water main, sewers. Since we've started this, it originally started with sewers. Since we started this, we're now tracking all of our new tree plantings, tree trimming, street signs, simple park benches and garbage cans. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, was this even possible, I would have never believed it. The paper map is a paper map, it's fixed in time. This is like a living document. So anytime we make a change, it's changed on the map. And hopefully somebody 10 years from now will thank us for that.
Oh, I'm going to thank you right now.
There's a lot of unknowns with paper maps. You'll look at it, and that's what was put in
Sure.
in the 40s. Well, you fast forward, and something may have changed, and somebody didn't write it down. Or you're looking at the wrong map. There's a new updated map. So we rely on it very heavily. This proposal here is just for the updates and assistance when you're creating apps to track these items. HRC originally put a lot of this together for us, and it's been working really well. It is a not-to-exceed cost, so it all depends on how much new information we add each year.
Sure.
And it seems like it's endless. We're always getting more information. Yes. It's really a good thing, and it's kind of amazing. I wish there was an easy way for me to show council all the different items and all the different ways you can look at things. You're welcome to come by the office anytime, and I can put it up on the screen for you and show you the different layers. It truly is amazing.
Well, and I think it's amazing that we're taking the time to inventory, if you will, all of our assets above and below the ground, and to have it updated in real time. It's a wealth of information. So I thank you for all that you do, and in conjunction with HRC. Obviously, I know it's a partnership on this, but I do think that it is important that we are mindful of what we have and, where we're headed. So, thank you. Any public comment on this agenda item? Discussion from council. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for the excellent work with this and with our partners. What can you share in terms of the partnership that you have with that we see with HRC? Are they, to what extent are they responsive? Do they usually make the updates quickly? How does it feel? How's it going?
They usually make the updates depending on how much data they see coming in. Our most taxing part of the data is sewer. When you have all those sewer videos, so we'll do the sewer videos, and they'll actually take those sewer videos and tie them to points in the GIS. So when we click on that line, we have the most recent video, the last inspection video. Everything is attached. They're pretty, at least on a monthly basis, we meet pretty much monthly on just updates, and that's when we exchange right now. Some of the stuff is hosted on their network, some is on ours. So we'll exchange hard drives, so there's always a backup copy somewhere. So there's a lot of data, and we don't want to lose it. Even if our system fails, we have a backup copy hosted with them as well.
Excellent, that makes sense. So you're happy with the partnership and the responsiveness and getting what you need. Excellent, thank you.
Anyone else from council? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Young. Appreciate your time. Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll on M7523.
Hennan,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Gavin,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. Motion number M7523 has passed. Ms. Mitchell, will you please read item number 4 on tonight's agenda?
Resolution number R2323, matter of designating Saturday, December 2nd, 2023 for the annual holiday parade and tree lighting ceremony in Berkley. The approval is conditional upon the submission of required items and documents prior to event dates.
Is there a motion to approve R2323?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson
Support.
with support from Mayor Pro Tem Gavin. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The cooler temperatures mean that Santa Claus must be coming to town. And so this is the application and paperwork that helps facilitate the Holiday Lights Parade coming back to the city of Berkley once again. It's been reviewed and shepherded through that process by the city clerk's office. It's been reviewed by our Public Works Department, our Record Department, our Public Safety Department, as well as myself. All those departments have signed off and recommended approval for this to proceed. This is an annual event. At this point, we know exactly what we have. It runs very well, and it has a heavy participation from our city departments, including and as well as our Downtown Development Authority. As we know, we had to make some tough budget discussions and decisions, so we did end up not budgeting for our annual contribution to this in this fiscal year and moving forward. But it still is able to come before you this year. We were able to make our last contribution to that in the previous fiscal year. So I'm happy to be a part of it, but understanding that our participation in this changes moving forward.
Thank you.
And you're joined by the committee
Yes.
As well.
I can't wait to hear from you.
From all of you.
Yes.
Okay. Are you saying that we have funding for this year?
Yeah, so Ms. Swayze did send the notice back in April, and we were able to contribute in the previous budget year.
Okay. And,
Pardon me, I should have addressed that through the chair. That's my apologies.
okay, I will say, because this group, we're talking two different groups here. We're talking the Holiday Parade Committee, which is comprised of about 6 residents of the city of Berkley. We all volunteer. We just volunteer our time. We want to see this happen. The other for the city's annual tree lighting is the Berkley Junior Women's Club, who have, for as long as I've been in there, over 30 years, we have been doing the annual tree lighting for this city. I know that Mr. Hennon feels as though that we have skated by without having to pay to volunteer, as it was sent to me and told to me from him. I don't feel as though the volunteers in this, Berkley Junior Women's Club is a 501c3. Every single dime that we earn goes back in this community. Every penny. And we have to report that yearly. All I can say is that we're funded for this year. As you know, we had the holiday parade was funded by Mr. Duffy for many years. He passed away. We were able to get businesses to sponsor and really kind of scraping together, doing door-to-door, asking for donations. Been doing this since, I don't know, it's going on 20 years now. And all I can say is that if we don't have the funding for next year, it probably will not. We have enough funds to do this year's parade, and that's it.
I think we also need to know what we are going to be responsible for.
Like how
Because we're not
how much do
getting
we have to pay
answers.
for public safety? How much do we have to pay
We don't know if
for
we can even do it.
DPW? I mean, we need to know some figures there to even know how much money that we need to raise, how much, apparently we need to take it out of our own pockets, which, as you know, it's tough times.
My pockets are kind of empty.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
we understand. We get it.
Yeah.
So is there a way we could find out, whether from you or Mr. Baumgarten,
Yeah.
what we are going to be responsible for?
Because all of these volunteer things that we've done, I mean, and it goes
Not only
on.
this project, but our other
Other
projects, we
projects
don't know
that are done for the city.
if
and
we can
it's-
do them or not.
Right.
Yes, I would suggest if we set up a meeting
Yes.
with myself and the city manager and your representatives, and we can hammer out the details. And I know, it's not for lack of trying.
Yeah, no,
So-
that process for all of our applicants moving forward.
Yes.
As we've said a couple times now, we want to have that done by first of the calendar year, so that as this ordinance takes effect, there's a menu of options that any of our applicants would be able to look at, engage their cost appropriately.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
But yes. So we seek approval for this year
Thank you.
and because things, I don't know if you're aware, but everything that is in our parade, most things we have to pay for,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Horse and carriage is $1,000. Their prices have gone up to $1,200. The petting zoo has gone up. It's over $1,000. Everything. As you know, everything costs money.
Bands,
Yes.
everything.
Yes,
Marching bands.
yes.
So yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We're not, so, I
go
just want to thank you all for your volunteerism and your hard work on making these events happen. Many of our events and things that we feel special about Berkley, that makes us special, are the result of the efforts of volunteers. And I am grateful, as is this council, for all of your time and your hard work. Are there any public comments on this agenda item? Don't go anywhere. And input from council. Questions? Councilmember Baker.
Yes, thank you, again, Your Honor. Just another expression of gratitude and appreciation. These are wonderful events that are highly anticipated by, my family and the community, and we're really grateful for this year's efforts, and I look forward to the results of the upcoming conversation to see how future years can be approached with confidence. So thank you again. Excellent stuff.
And we are in a different time than we have, I think, probably ever been in Berkeley. And so with the failure of the Headley override, when we had that ask back in May, the voters gave us a directive, and so we are doing what we've been directed to do. We are tightening our belts. We're looking at everything.
It's funny that you bring that up, and that this is kind of why the Berkley Junior Women's Club, we stepped in many years ago. And a lot of people don't realize that, but we stepped in when all of the activities were canceled in the city. The daddy-daughter dances, the breakfast with the bunny, all of the fun things that families still wanted to enjoy. We stepped up, said, hey, you know what, we'll raise money. We'll raise money so that we can pay for these events. Parks and Rec, if you would, if there's money made, if we could just have a little bit back to fund us for the next one. And that's exactly how it happened, and somewhere along the road, they became and they weren't ours. They were always Parks and Rec activities. We were just there to give the money and to help.
And to be in a supportive capacity and
yes, because we have the people, we have the numbers. We at any event, we can show up and bring 25 to 30 volunteers.
Yes.
So it's...
And it's much appreciated.
That's how
truly
it has kept going. So yeah.
And in the moment that we're in now, we'll forge a new path or tweak the path that we've been on and to make this work. Because I think that you put all of our heads together, we're going to find a solution. I am sure of it. So we'll get a meeting on the calendar and we'll start hammering out the path forward.
Because I will tell you, when I filled out the paperwork for this and everything, it sat on my desk for 5 days because I was going back and forth with if I even wanted to continue to do this. And
well, thank you for choosing to continue.
And I just said, you know what? This is about the kids. It's about the families in the city. And that's what this is why I have a business here. This is why I live here. This is why, and it's like, I had to.
Well, thank you.
So, yeah.
Thank you all.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll on R2323?
Patterson?
Yes.
Valani?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Dooley?
Yes.
Gavin?
Yes.
Hennan?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes. Resolution R2323 has passed. Ms. Mitchell, please read item number 5 on tonight's agenda.
Ordinance number 01023, matter of considering the first reading of an ordinance to repeal section 106-42, outdoor seating, in chapter 106, street, sidewalks, and other public places of the City of Berkeley Code of Ordinances, to remove references to outdoor seating in the city code as standards have been incorporated into the zoning ordinance.
Is there a motion to approve 01023?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilmember Hennan.
Support.
Whoa, with support by everyone. Mr. Baumgarten.
Madam Mayor, I believe the materials submitted in the packet, I don't have anything better to add, and I turn it over to our Community Development Director.
It's your night, Ms. Kaplansky.
It is, yeah.
What more would you like to tell us?
Not too much on this particular item. In the spring, some zoning ordinance amendments were adopted, and staff has implemented a new process to streamline our outdoor seating regulations and also to be a little bit more clear in what the city is expecting from participants in that program. This is kind of a leftover item that was in the city code. We're just trying to clean it up. So take this out, and then everything is cleanly in the zoning ordinance.
Excellent. We like a good cleanup. Any public comment on this agenda item? Discussion from council. Councilmember Valani.
Ms. Kaplansky, can you just, for anybody who's at home who might be worried that they can't eat outside anymore, enjoy their cup of coffee, can you just clarify that that right will still be there? It's just housed in a different home?
Yes, absolutely. So in the spring, we did pass a whole section of zoning ordinance amendments that took outdoor seating from the special land use that it was and made it an administrative process done through staff. We had several businesses go through the process this spring. We'll open it back up again when outdoor seating is available. This is just an item to make sure that it's not being duplicated in different sections of the code. So it is strictly cleanup. You can still eat outside. at participating
Perfect. Thank
businesses.
Any other comments or discussion from council? Okay. Ms. Mitchell, will you please call the roll on O-1023?
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Gavin,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes, ordinance O-1023 has passed. Ms. Mitchell, please read item number 6 on tonight's agenda.
Ordinance number O-1123, matter of considering the first reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Berkley, Michigan to amend section 26-2 and add section 26-3 in chapter 26, Building and Building Regulations of the City of Berkley Code of Ordinances to clarify the application of section 26-2 to the entire chapter 26, to require fees for inspections, reviews, permits, and certificates, and to clarify the application of section 26-337.
Is there a motion to approve O-0923?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Councilmember Patterson with support from Councilmember Baker. Mr. Baumgarten?
I will only note, kind of the same as last time, just from a process standpoint, this and the previous item has been on the city's website for a week previous to this meeting per the city's rules and procedures. I should have made that part of my previous intro, but other than that, I will yet again defer to the Community Development Director.
Ms. Kaplansky?
Yeah, I'm just noticing a typo, a bit of clarification in the agenda item. It's also to amend section 26337, and that was my error, so I apologize for leaving that particular section out in the agenda description. But this is also cleanup items. So the first talks about having this particular section that talks about administration and enforcement apply to the entire chapter, not just that one particular article. The second addition is the addition of a section on fees to clarify that the city can, in fact, charge fees for inspections, reviews, and issuance of permits. And then the last just clarifies under our residential grading, the topographic survey, that we're talking about increasing the footprint of a residential building, not if someone's going up.
Okay.
So that's the clarification there, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, is there any public input on this agenda item? Discussion from council. Wow. Okay. Ms. Mitchell, please call the roll on O-0923.
Baker,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Gavin,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. The ordinance is passed. Ms. Mitchell, please read item number 7 on tonight's agenda.
Closed session, matter of considering convening in closed session at the conclusion of the regular meeting to discuss confidential attorney-client privileged communications.
Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved?
Motion made by Councilmember Valani
Support.
with support from Councilmember Baker. Ms. Mitchell, would you please call the roll on item number 7?
Dooley,
Yes.
Gavin,
Yes.
Hennon,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. Closed session will commence at the adjournment of tonight's meeting, so we won't come back. We're going to slide into communications right now and adjourn the meeting, then we'll go into closed session. And so basically don't hang around. We're not coming back to discuss anything. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Gavin is up.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very quick report for me. Environmental Advisory Committee meets tomorrow, the 17th at 6:30 on the second floor conference room of the Public Safety Building. Parks and Rec had a really good meeting this last week where the director gave a programmatic update, an update around capital projects, long-term project planning ideas and goals, and efforts around securing recreational grants. And the next meeting will be the 14th, of December at 7 p.m. at the Community Center. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Valani.
Yes, quick as well. No updates from the Technology Advisory Committee or the Citizens Engagement Committee, but those meetings will resume now that we have Ms. Flora in place. So excited about that. From the Berkley Area Chamber, this Friday, October 20th, is the next chamber chat, 8:30 in the morning at the office of Missy Bean, LMSW. Registration is not required. You can simply show up and connect with other residents and business owners. And Hold your horses here. The State of the Cities is coming up on Friday, October 27th at 9 a.m. at the Berkeley High School Collaborative Center. So make sure you register and get your tickets today. Our 2023 honorees include Person of the Year, Roseanne Nicolai, and Business of the Year, Woodward Corner Market. You won't want to miss this.
Councilmember Dooley.
Quick and easy for me as well. The library board, we meet this Wednesday, 7 o'clock, down at the library. So come one, come all. And in the beautification committee, we are the 25th next door on the second floor at 6:30. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Patterson.
Short for me as well. The planning commission will meet the 24th of October, 7 p.m. here in Chambers.
Okay,
That's it.
Councilmember Bennett. We're going right through.
I thought mine was short tonight. I'm going to be long. The tree board is meeting 1 week from tonight, October 23rd. We're going to have Robert Miller from the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development giving an update on the spotted lanternfly, which is starting to come into our area and is a threat to many of the tree species that we have in Berkeley. The Zoning Ordinance Rewrite Steering Committee is meeting November 1st, and we'll be talking about signs. And then the Zoning Board of Appeals will hear a case on a dimensional variance on November 13th.
Thank you. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple quick updates as well. First of all, hello and welcome to the beautiful fall colors that are starting to take hold here in Berkeley. The DDA, Downtown Development Authority, met on Wednesday the 11th. They thanked the council for their action with the Coolidge Crosswalk Improvement Program, and they approved that as well. There's a mural application for the Law Office of Rachel Pinch at 2790 Coolidge, which is just south of Franklin. Witches Night Out on Friday the 12th was a great success. Kudos to all who hosted and participated in such a wonderful evening. Let's see. That was on Thursday. My apologies. Upcoming events include the Ghost Chase on October 20th, where teams of 4 will search through the city for clues leading to great prizes. And the Trick or Treat Stroll and the Monster Mash Extravaganza is on October 28th on Coolidge. And then for more information about our downtown, visit downtownberkeley.com. Historical Committee met on Tuesday, October 3rd. And just this past weekend, on Saturday the 14th at 3:30, the Michigan Historical Marker was unveiled at the 1928 Fire Hall and Museum just next door, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Berkeley as a village, which took place technically on October 8th. Also unveiled was a time capsule, which is embedded within the museum walls. And mark your calendars. You're all invited to the grand reopening event of the capsule on October 14th, 2123. So save the date. And visitors are always welcome to the museum. If you want to take a peek at the time capsule, there's this little portal window thing that you can look through. Museum is open Wednesdays from 10 to 1 and Sundays from 2 till 4. And you can visit them online at berkeleyhistory.com. And finally, it was Paula Curran who once said, "The farther we've gotten from the magic and mystery of our past, the more we've come to need Halloween." So a couple of quick fun facts on Halloween. The holiday dates back far more than 2,000 years. It started as a pre-Christian Celtic festival called Samhain, which means summer's end. Trick-or-treating has existed since medieval times. Taking candy from strangers on one night a year isn't a new or uniquely American tradition. Back then, it was known as guising in Scotland and Ireland. And building on that, immigrants helped popularize the holiday in the U.S. When the Irish fled the potato famine that devastated their country in 1840s, they brought their Halloween traditions with them here to America. And it hasn't been always sweet. Sugar rationing during World War II paused trick-or-treating. It wasn't as big of a thing back then, but after the rationing ended, it was all systems go for the candy collecting extravaganza. And so with that, stay safe, enjoy the festivities if you choose to partake, and please hug somebody you love. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Baumgarten.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For those that were hoping to attend the Mayor's Academy meeting, we will not be holding our October 17th meeting. But we have held 5 successful sessions so far covering general finance topics as well as public works, public safety, our fantastic city clerk's office, as well as our community developments and the Downtown Development Authority. Those sessions left, we'll be covering some finance questions from our own contractual Plant Moran. We'll also be covering our Parks and Recreation Department, the City Manager's Office, a must-see, sorry. A little Freudian there. And then also, finally, our library as well. So 3 great sessions left before that group will turn inward and start working on their capstone project, and they'll start making and defending recommendations, kind of talking about what they see as the city's priorities impacts what their views on how they would put together the city's budget as well. So it's been very successful so far. We look forward to doing it in the future one day. And we want to thank the applicants for coming with an open mind and sitting down and really realizing how complex some of these issues are. Public budgeting is sometimes not for the faint of heart, but is incredibly necessary and crucial to the future of the sustainability of a community. So thank you for those who attend. Thank you for the mayor and the council for the support on putting it together. And thank you for our staff and our department directors for putting together hours of content to present to these groups week in and week out. So look forward to taking some lessons back, learning how to improve it for the future, and rolling back out with with 2.0 sometime in the future.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Seeing that I'm going to be talking at you
Yeah.
in session in a few minutes, I'll hold my comments till then.
Okay, thank you. As mentioned by Councilmember Baker, the Berkley Historical Committee put on a lovely celebration of 100 years of Berkley as a village, and I had the pleasure of attending that. And I guess my biggest takeaway, or the thing that I enjoyed the most about it, is when you mark a moment in time, it allows you to just stop and reflect over the last 100 years, if you want, or for however long you've lived in Berkley. And it allows you to just kind of take stock of how far you've come and direction that we're continuing to move. And while opportunities and challenges change over time, because every decade, every year, there's something different, I can tell you that the common threads of what makes Berkley so special have remained the same. We're passionate about our community, we're passionate about each other. We constantly are looking for ways to improve our community. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the efforts of Mayor Maybelle Frazier and Shirley McClellan, all that they've done in the past to keep Berkley's history alive. And then in the present moment, Susan Richardson, Jeff Tong, the Berkley Historical Committee, countless volunteers who not only organized Saturday celebration, but for their work year-round to keep Berkley's history alive. I want to thank them all again. Shout out to our DPW department. I wanted to recognize Brian Lapine, John Beach, and Brad Daughtry, who discovered a basement fire. The family did not realize that their basement was on fire, but these 3 DPW workers not only got the family out, they called 911, and I'm just going to say they saved their lives, because if they hadn't been in the right place at the right time, we could have had a very different ending for this. So kudos to Brian, John, and Brad, and to DPW for not hesitating to get in and save the day when necessary. And with that, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Motion made by Councilmember Patterson with support from Councilmember Villani. Ms. Mitchell, would you please call the roll?
Hennan,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Villani,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Dooley,
Yes.
Gavin,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. The Monday, October 16th, 2023 council meeting is adjourned.